Good morning. In the last class, we were discussing normal resident of a country. So, these topics are related to calculation of national income. Now, we will discuss the difference between domestic product and national product. Domestic product is domestic income and national product is national income. So, simply we can think or we can understand it like this. So, these are the two concepts. And what is the difference between the two that we have also discussed? The difference between the two is basically net factor income from abroad. But if you want to discuss the meaning of the two, what are they, or what are the meaning of the two concepts? Now, domestic product or domestic income, it is the sum of value added or product in the domestic territory of a country. Why it is called value added? Because when any product is produced, some value is added to the raw material or intermediate goods. That is why it is called value added. It is always understood or thought that whenever something is produced, some value is added to any intermediate product or raw material. So, when it is done within the domestic territory of the country, the meaning of domestic territory we had discussed, that is domestic income or domestic product. Now, domestic, we have discussed what are under domestic national territory along with some more things which are included in domestic territory. That means all value added activities which are performed in the domestic territory of a country or economy is the domestic product. Now we have to understand that this activity may be done by the Indian resident or by foreigners. It is not related to a person who is doing that work. It is related to, or domestic product is related to the place where the activity is done or the product is produced. It may be produced by any person who is residing inside the country or belongs to that particular country, or it may happen that any outsider who does not belong to that country may contribute to the domestic product. So if any Britisher is working in India for many years continuously, any product produced by that particular British person will be domestic product of India, and that British person will be Indian resident. Now, income, national income or national product. National product or national income is the sum of value added by normal resident of a country, whether within the domestic territory, that means domestic product is added plus outside the domestic territory. So when the normal resident of our country produce goods inside our country or they produce goods outside our country, that is added and we get national product. So it may happen that some Indian resident who is normally living in India is going for few days outside India and working there and producing something and earning. That earning will be added to the domestic income of India and then it will become national income of India. So we can take many examples like doctors or engineers or technicians who are going to foreign countries for some part of the year. It may be 1 month, 2 months, but basically they are residing in India, living in India and producing in India. But for 1, 2 or 3 months they are going outside producing and earning. That will be added to earning of India. Now since domestic product is with reference to domestic territory, it is a territorial concept because if it is produced within a particular territory or economic territory, not only political frontiers, it includes several other concepts like as we had discussed It includes the ships, includes the aircrafts and several other things. So it will be defined with reference to productive efforts of normal resident. That means the normal residents have produced that product. So domestic product can be produced by a normal resident who may be citizen of India or may not be citizen of India. Now what is the difference between the two? We are always discussing that the difference between the two is net factor income from abroad. So when we get national product, actually we get this national product by adding net factor income from abroad, or in short it is called NFIA, to domestic product. So when NFIA is added to domestic product or domestic income, it will become national product or national income. Now come to net factor income from abroad, NFIA. We had briefly discussed about NFIA earlier also, but what are the components of NFIA, or what are included in net factor income from abroad? Now we will discuss. NFIA includes the following. First, net compensation of employees from abroad. Now what is compensation? It is the amount paid for working. That means when a person is working, he is getting some compensation in the form of wages or salary. So these are compensation. So it will happen that Indian will go outside, they will work, they will get some wages or salary. It will also happen that some foreigner who is mainly residing in their own country may be coming to our country for 1 month or 2 months, and they will also get some salary or wages or compensation. So net amount of that, that means the earning that is coming from outside to India minus the earning by the foreigners that is going outside India, will be net compensation of employees from abroad. So this will be the first component of NFIA, because many resident workers are living abroad, they are sending money, they are earning and sending money to the country, or bringing money to the country. Next is net income from property and entrepreneurship. Again, it is the difference between income from property and entrepreneurship earned by resident of India from abroad. They may be earning some rent, interest or dividend from other country, and it will also happen that some foreigner will earn these things from our country and they will send it abroad. So the difference between the two is net income from property and entrepreneurship. This is the second component of NFIA. And the third is net retained earnings. What are retained earnings? They are the corporate savings or savings of the companies located abroad, and the companies which belong to other country but located in our country. Companies, it refers to difference between corporate savings. So in many questions you will find, instead of retained earnings, corporate savings simply will be written. The value will be the same. So both are normally same. It is a part, actually net retained earnings is a part of corporate savings which is remaining to the company or with the company after payment of income tax and dividend. So net retained earnings are the difference between retained earnings of resident companies located abroad and retained earnings of non-resident companies located within the domestic territory of the country. So resident and non-resident concept can apply not only to individuals, but it can apply also to institutions or companies. So if State Bank of India has a branch outside, suppose State Bank of India has a branch in Britain, it will be resident company located abroad, because State Bank of India is a Indian company. So if it has any branch outside, it will be resident company located abroad. Similarly, Honda Motors belonging to Japan, if it has branches in India, it will be non-resident company located within the domestic territory. So Honda Motors will have branches in India. They have many branches in our country, so they are non-resident companies located within the domestic territory. So when State Bank of India is earning money in Britain, they are paying taxes on the profits and they are paying dividend, and after payment of these things they are left with corporate savings, which is called retained earning. Similarly, Honda Motors is also earning profit, paying taxes and dividend, and then after they have the retained earnings which will be sent to their own country. So this is the net amount. That means earnings earned by SBI minus earnings earned by Honda Motors. So this is not only applying to only one company, it will be applicable to all those companies which are located abroad, belonging to India but located abroad, and which are belonging to other countries but located in our country. So apart from Honda, there can be many companies like PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, like this. And for India also, many companies apart from SBI like Infosys or Reliance Industries or Airtel. So these three are the components. So net factor income from abroad is factor income earned by the domestic factors of production, because the residents are the domestic factors of production who are employed in rest of the world. So it is factor income from abroad minus factor income to abroad, or factor income paid to rest of the world. So this difference is called net factor income from abroad. So net factor income from abroad, this particular formula you should always remember. Net factor income from abroad, or NFIA, is equal to factor income from abroad minus factor income to abroad. So factor income from abroad includes Indian resident working abroad and earning money, coming back with that income, plus Indian companies like SBI earning outside and then they are bringing that money to India, minus the foreigners who are working in India but working in India for some part of the year, earning money and going back. So it will also apply to those IPL cricketers who are basically belonging to their own country, but sometimes some players like players from West Indies or South Africa are coming to India, earning money, going back. So it will be factor income to abroad. So if Chris Gayle earns some money and takes back to West Indies, it will be factor income to abroad. Similarly, if any cricketer goes outside in Australia or England and earns money and brings it back, it will be factor income from abroad. So difference between the two will be net factor income from abroad. So the value of net factor income from abroad, it can be positive as well as negative. So NFIA, as I already discussed earlier also, can be positive figures and can also be a negative figure. Now this figure can also help you understand the concept of NFIA, in which some people are bringing money from outside or rest of the world to India. So if one person, Subhash, is working outside, who is a normal Indian resident living in India for most part of the year, but suppose for 1 month he is going outside for some technical work, earning some income, that will be factor income from abroad. Similarly, any income earned in the form of rent, interest or dividend by resident from outside. So if any Indian has a property outside, he will be earning. So suppose any Indian who is normally living in India but has property outside, in another country, he will be earning rent, interest or dividend on that property and bringing back to India. That will also be factor income from abroad. And for Indian companies like Reliance, they will be bringing that part of profit. So if the Reliance companies are providing some services or goods in other country, they will be bringing that part of profit after paying tax and dividend. So suppose Reliance Jio has network in Britain, they are providing services in Britain, they are earning profit there, paying taxes in Britain because they are providing an earning profit there, so they will be paying taxes there, and after payment of these things they will bring money inside India. So this will be factor income from abroad. Similarly, it will happen to the people who are resident of other country. Suppose this person is US resident but working in India for 1 month. Suppose he is an engineer from American company working in India for 1 month, coming to India for some work and earning and going back to his country. So it will be factor income to abroad. Similarly, if any foreign national has property in India, he will be earning these things, rent, interest and dividend, and going back to India, then going back to that particular country. And similarly, an example like Bank of America having branch in India, earning profit, paying taxes in India, but going back to their own country, or earning is going back to their own country. So similarly, not only Bank of India, it can be a company like PepsiCo also. They are also earning profit in India, and the earning that they are taking back, or even Honda, they are taking their earnings back to their own country. So this is factor income to abroad. The difference between the two is net factor income from abroad. So as we have discussed again and again, the value of NFIA can be positive or negative. So it will depend upon what amount of figure is going outside and what amount of figure is coming inside to our country. So suppose this amount which is coming inside our country is more compared to the amount which is going outside, then the figure of NFIA will be positive. But if it happens that factor income to abroad, or these things are greater in amount and these things are lesser in amount, it will happen that NFIA is a negative figure. So in calculation of national income, what we will do, if NFIA is positive, then we will add the value of NFIA to domestic income and we will get national income. And if the value of NFIA is negative, we will deduct the value of NFIA to domestic income and we will get national income. So if NFIA is negative, domestic income is greater than national income, and if NFIA is positive, national income is greater than domestic income. Then there is one more concept, net exports. Sometimes some students confuse it with NFIA. Remember, it is not NFIA, it is different from NFIA. What is net export? Net export actually is the difference between export and import. So export minus imports is equal to net exports. It may happen that the value of exports are greater than value of imports. So the value of net exports will be a positive figure. It may happen that the value of imports are more than the value of exports. In that case, net exports will be a negative figure. Net exports are also called net foreign investment. This net foreign investment or net exports is part of domestic product. We have to remember that net export is a part of domestic product. So it should not be confused with net factor income from abroad. Thus the difference between GNP. Now there is one more concept, GNP. GNP is gross national product. GDP we all know is gross domestic product. So value of the product produced within the domestic territory of a country is GDP, but the value of the product which is produced inside the country plus factor income from abroad or net factor income from abroad. So NFIA, this is equal to gross national product minus gross domestic product. So remember the difference between national and domestic. So the difference between national and domestic is NFIA. So while calculation of national income, you have to remember always it will apply that national minus domestic is equal to net factor income from abroad or NFIA. Gross national product is GNP, or full form of GNP is gross national product. Now let us quickly discuss the difference between net exports and NFIA. What is net exports? Net exports is the difference between exports and import of goods and services. So we export goods and services to other countries as well as we import goods and services from other countries. We export goods like agriculture products or IT products, IT software to other countries, and we import petroleum products and computer hardware products from other countries. The net amount, that means exports minus imports, is net exports. So you can write the formula: net exports is exports minus import. What is NFIA? Discussed again and again, the difference between factor income received from abroad and factor income paid abroad. It is NFIA. Now, concept: net export is a domestic concept, that means it is a part of domestic income, whereas NFIA is a national concept, that is NFIA will increase the value of domestic income and convert it to national income. Factor or non-factor services. Net exports includes non-factor services and NFIA includes factor services. Factor services like rent, which is the payment of factor service. So if any person is provided his labor, capital, enterprise, these are factor services, or land, these are factor services. So they are being used in case of NFIA also, but this does not include non-factor services. This does not include factor services. So this is all about the difference between net exports and NFIA. So we should not confuse between these two. They are totally different in case of calculation of national income. So treatment of these things will be different in case of calculation of national income. So this is enough for today. We will discuss next topic in the next class. Thank you.